What's up, everybody? It's Hardy Construction. You can find us on Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, as well as Facebook with your host Comp. And
Are you ready? Are you ready?
today's film is
Silent Night. 2012, which is like I guess a remake of the 800 other Silent Night, Deadly Night movies.
Silent Night 2012, directed
Wow.
by Stephen C. Miller, with a screenplay by Jason Rothwell, starring Malcolm McDowell, Jamie King, Donald Logue.
Who's he?
He's an actor from a lot of stuff. The police force of a remote Midwestern town search for a killer Santa Claus who is picking off citizens on Christmas Eve.
What an asshole.
So why are we picking this film? Oh, because it's Christmas time.
It's
Merry
Christmas time.
Christmas. Yes. It's a war on Christmas, right, Danny? It's terrible.
Well, at least the Christmas is acknowledged. No one cares about my Jew day.
We can't say anything about Merry Christmas to anybody. Thanks, Obama, right? It has to be Happy Holiday.
Thanks, Obama.
People were offended by the current president standing in front of a giant sign that said Merry Christmas. Can you
Really?
imagine? That's the least thing you should get offended about, but whatever. Anyway. Ugh. Anyway.
Everyone on all sides.
Whatever. I guess I'm offensive by saying that. Yes, I hate everyone. I can't stand anyone. So this film, Silent Night, 2012. It's a loose remake of the film Silent Night, Deadly Night. And why I picked this is because I always saw the cover poster, and it's a pretty neat looking Santa Claus with kind of these blacked out eyes and a flamethrower. And I was like, this seems pretty familiar. I was like, why do I know, why does this strike me as something familiar? Besides the fact that it was Silent Night, Deadly Night. I was like, this harkens back to something that actually happened in reality. And grossly enough,
did it?
Yes, the producers of this film grossly were inspired by a real-life event and decided to pepper it in this movie, which is, I'm fine with kind of being exploitative on stuff, but this was a little kind of gross. It's sort of like I shouldn't be offended by anything, and I wasn't offended by this. I thought it was just a little
insensitive.
Yeah, a little bit, and it's funny because I'm a very insensitive person myself. But for the fact that this was sort of based on something that was pretty bad, it's almost like there was a movie that just came out mid 2000s with Jesse Eisenberg, and he played I don't know why I did that voice. He plays this pizza guy, right? And he's delivering a pizza to these two thieves, and they decide to strap a bomb around him, and he has to do everything that they do, or they'll kill him. And the thing is, that happened in real life.
They're like, okay, now put your hand on your head.
No, I think they had him rob places. That would have been a much more boring movie. But that actually happened in real life. There was this guy who was in his 40s that had a bomb strapped around his neck. And
Well, isn't that basically the twist in Saw 1, where he's doing everything to save his daughter?
I think this might have happened during the Saw times, but this actually happened in real life. This guy had a bomb strapped around his neck, and they have it on video of him sort of waiting on his knees, and the detonation just kind of snaps his neck back, and he dies. And that happened in real life, and they caught the people that forced that guy to do it. I don't know if the guy actually did it to himself on the words of these people, but that's actually based on real life. And then when the movie with Jesse Eisenberg, they were like, "Oh, we didn't base it on that." And he was like, "Okay, how many other?" That was on the news, asshole. What are you talking about? Anyway, so this.
Well, I've seen that in other movies too.
With a bomb around the neck, but
I feel like I have. Yeah.
Well, it was on a pizza guy's neck in the movie, and in real life, it was on a pizza guy's neck. So I assume that was a little bit closer.
Yeah.
It's a little kind of makes the field a little bit smaller. Anyway,
Maybe
with this
they
film,
just happen to like pizza. Why do you gotta judge them?
so this is what is the origin story of the Christmas tale in this film with this Santa Claus? You just tell me what that is, and I will regale you with the actual story. It's slightly based on.
A man, I guess he saw his wife cheating or something.
His wife left him and took the kid, and
he got the flamethrower.
I love how I ask you to explain something, I end up explaining, but go ahead.
He got a flamethrower, and he got all angry, and he's killing them. And now he goes around every Christmas, and his rage just boils out, and he kills people.
Yeah, he burns the wife to death, and that's it. In real life, this is what happened.
Where do you get a flamethrower?
You get wait, didn't he own his own construction business? So maybe you can.
Do you think there's like a Black Friday sale for flamethrowers? Just for next year, I might, just out of interest.
So this is what that little piece was based on in real life. Even though this movie is loosely based on the original Silent Night, Deadly Night, we'll get to that because I actually remembered one scene from the original that this one shows. But The Covina massacre. Okay, this
Oh
occurred
wow.
on December 24th, 2008, in Covina City, in the suburbs of Los Angeles. So there was this guy named Bruce Jeffrey Pardo, and there's a little bit of true crime for an extra for you guys to listen to.
Uh-huh.
So here it goes. Let me give you a little breakdown. This is on the Wikipedia.
Tell it.
This guy, I believe his wife left him, and she was taking him to the cleaners. According to him, she was making him pay 13 something odd $100 for child support. Here it goes. At approximately 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This was on the 24th of December, right? So this is all Christmas, time and all that stuff. Jeffrey Pardo, dressed in a Santa Claus suit. Okay, this is real life. Knocked on the door of his former in-laws' house, so that's his wife's parents, occupied by about 25 people, with a gift-wrapped package containing a homemade flamethrower in one hand and a 9mm semi-automatic handgun in the other hand. He
wow.
also had 3 additional 9mm semi-automatic handguns in his possession. When the door opened, Pardo fired the handgun at 8-year-old daughter of Letitia Yuzuplovsky, a sister of Sylvia Pardo. All in all, he fired indiscriminately at fleeing partygoers, and he also he used the homemade flamethrower and used it to spray racing fuel gasoline to set the house on fire. He killed 9 people that day. So his wife...
Sounds like he does not like Christmas.
No, he did not. He's much of a dickhead. The 8-year-old girl who was shot in the face.
He's the original Grinch.
So only 2 people kind of survived out of him shooting them. There was 25 people there. Only 9 people got killed, and then he ended up killing himself at his brother's house. But that's basically where the storyline from this comes from, where that little sort of mock tale was actually based in reality, and they sort of... I think if they actually just made a movie based on this, it would be much more horrifying and probably a better movie. But it's also, it's pretty gross.
Yeah, we don't really know anything about the killer in this.
Yeah, we do. We get...
Barely,
I'll tell you this, at the very end, I was so confused by that fucking ending shot that I was like, I had to look it up, because I was like, what does this mean? What does this ending mean?
Where the dad killed him, or shot him, or whatever?
We'll get to that. Okay, so this film is, I guess, a Santa Claus that is
Wait. I thought of a funny twist. Imagine there's a sequel, and he fights Drew Barrymore from Firestarter next, and then at the end of that, he sets on fire.
It'd be funny if you hadn't said that. I think it would have been much funnier. So anyway, this movie starts out, essentially, it's about a crazy Santa Claus, man, that's going around town killing the shit out of people.
Killing the shit out of them.
Here's the thing. It's a very good-looking movie. I think it looks nice. It's framed very well. It's shot very well.
Good acting.
Yeah, I thought it was actually pretty good acting from all around. It has Malcolm McDowell in it, so that's not bad. You know what I mean?
He's in everything, though.
What is
the deal with him?
He will be at an opening of a hot dog stand if you pay him for it.
Is he just poor? Is he bored? What is it?
I think he probably live. He might live among his means, or he just might like to act. You know what I mean? That just might he. I've never seen him really sleepwalk in anything, and he doesn't seem like he sleepwalks during this movie. Like he seems like into it.
No, he doesn't. But it's like, I don't know.
You think he should be a little bit more respectable?
It's like hiring like Picasso to like paint the wall of like some random building or something.
Do you think you're giving him that because he's an English actor? So
no, he's a good actor.
I think so too. That's the thing. So I don't understand.
I mean, and not that there's bad actors in this movie, but it's certainly not Malcolm McDowell worthy.
Malcolm McDowell's. I think Malcolm McDowell's equal is who's that guy? The bald guy, Ben.
Ben Wheatley.
No, Ben. Yeah, the director.
No, that's the director. I know who you're talking about. Who was the white Caucasian Mandarin?
He played
Iron
right,
Man 3?
and he also played. Thank you. I was looking up the IMDb for his name. And he also played Gandhi famously. So that guy also sort of does every fucking movie that is available for him. Let me just look up that actor's name. Yes, he was right. He was Mandarin. He was playing the fake Mandarin, if that makes you happy, if you watch the supplemental Iron Man short film that the Mandarin actually calls him at the end of the movie. So
Ben
they were
Kingsley.
trying to save face. Ben Kingsley is another actor. Ben Kingsley might have done worse movies than Malcolm McDowell, actually. Ben Kingsley was in a movie by this director. It was a vampire video game movie, and he played like a head vampire, but I mean, Danny... We're going to see the
Well,
House
I'm looking at the IMDb, and he's like listed to be in like 10 movies coming up.
Oh, yeah, he's in everything. The thing is, that guy's another respectable actor. Malcolm McDowell was also in, obviously, he was in the Halloween remakes.
Yeah.
which people say was good. I don't remember really watching them,
I thought
honestly.
the
I
first
forgot.
one was okay. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know why
think
people
I
like
think they
hated
sort
it
of take
so
away
much.
with showing the origin of Michael Myers. Like I really don't give a shit. Anyway, so this film starts out with a guy putting on a Santa Claus outfit, and he decides to electrocute to death a guy who's been having an affair with this woman who
Can you
swears.
electrocute someone to death with Christmas lights?
I guess maybe he was grounded in something, so I'm not sure
Okay.
how he electrocuted, but he was grounded in something, electrocuted the
Christmas
shit.
cheer. He was grounded in Christmas cheer.
Yeah, so he's electrocuting this guy who swears that he didn't know that this woman he was sleeping with was married, although I guess he was lying because it's a small town, so I assume even the sheriff, when he knew that she got killed, he was like, she was sleeping with everybody, and
Yeah.
hey, they saved that husband some divorce time. So the murders in this kill range from super gory to just plain out sort of boring deaths.
There were some fun ones.
There's some fun. There's a nice head split that looks great. That's
oh yeah,
good.
that was a good one. I liked it.
But for the most part, they're sort of just stabbing. Like I knew I was this movie was in trouble when Lisa. You saw Lisa Marie, right? She was in this movie. That was Tim Burton's ex-wife or ex-girlfriend.
Oh really? No.
Yeah, you remember Lisa Marie? She was
Which one was she?
You saw Mars Attacks, right?
Yeah.
Remember that giant alien woman that seduces Martin?
Oh, really?
Short, and she kills him. Yeah, that used to be Tim Burton's girlfriend. Like she's like this buxom. Like she was also
Oh, let's
in
look at her.
Ed
Okay.
Wood. She was Vampira in Ed Wood. Very attractive woman. Like sort of she had a 50s sort of bombshell look to her. And then
Yeah. I'm looking at her right now.
Tim Burton dumps his girlfriend. Whatever woman he's dating in the next film is a woman he'll dump from the previous.
Is she still with what's her face? Marla Singer?
No, he dumped Lisa, whatever the fucking lady's name I just said. He dumped her for Marla Singer, and then I think he dumped Marla Singer for somebody else. So Tim Burton gets around. I guess they
That guy's hair is so stupid. It really is. Like, how
what
can he?
that's a strange. I think his bad
No,
hair.
but it's just like I don't know.
I think his bad hair is not as bad as his plummeting directing skills, apparently. Because
Well, that too.
I tell
But
you
I
this,
mean,
I
how
saw
can you
that,
be that rich and have that kind of hair? Like,
well,
what the hell?
people take a look at current Quentin Tarantino, and you'll really be like, "Holy shit!" Look up Quentin
What
Tarantino
does his hair
20.
look like?
Look at Quentin Tarantino 2017, and people are like, "Hey, is that the tall man? Is he still around?" They either say that, or he looks like,
Oh, wow.
or he looks like Jaws from the James Bond movies.
Quentin
Tarantino 2017. I guess
Tarantino.
maybe he has a lot of women stepping on his face with his feet.
Yeah,
fetish,
right, with
and then
his
they
foot
rub
things.
they rub the hair off of his head. Anyway, so we're really jumping out of shit with this.
Oh
movie.
wow, yeah, he's got some hair.
So, with this movie, the gore is pretty bad. I knew it was pretty bad as soon as the Lisa, whatever. Why am I forgetting her? Lisa Marie, Lisa, whatever the hell her name is.
Yeah,
She
Lisa Marie.
she's like, her daughter's a little asshole, is a drug addicted, and it's like bad acting kids. It's like they couldn't afford to do a casting search for kids, so they just kind
I
of.
was happy when the kid died though.
Yeah, but it was off camera. You know what I mean? It was like, they really pussied out, and I was like, just show it. I mean, it's a movie about a fucking serial killer Santa Claus. Why do they have to pussy that out? Like, is
Maybe
that,
the rating people were like, "We'll give you an X if you
You're
don't."
probably
do it.
right. Yeah, with that. There's also a bunch of characters like the mayor, and who has like this daughter who does softcore porn on the side, and there's a whole extended sequence where there's a porn peddler.
Nice boobs.
How this Santa Claus knows all about all this shit that's happening in the town. Like, I guess
Right.
this is a movie supposed to be, the Santa Claus knows
And,
that.
but they never explain who's naughty or nice, but they never really get into it because, like,
No, they don't.
okay, it makes sense that he wants to kill the dad. Why does he want to kill everybody else, though?
I guess as a kid it made him go berserk. That's actually the son of the father. That's why they show him in the truck at the end. That's why I was a little bit confused. He saw his father get burned to death, and that's why he decided to continue his serial killing.
But he was burned. Did you see his face?
Yes, because remember they burned him at the end
Oh
of the
yeah,
movie.
because of what just happened. Yeah.
I thought that was a really cheap reveal at the end. I was like, this is stupid. Like, whatever. Anyway, I was so confused by that ending. I was like, I don't understand. Were they trying to say that Aubrey, the main character, Jamie King, was the girl who was in the truck? But I was really confused. And then I was like, I had to
Also,
look it up and
Jamie
see that
King
there was
is
a
the
kid.
girl from White Chick. She's like the bitchy girl.
Oh yeah, Jamie King's a surprisingly a good actor. I've never in this at least. I've never seen her really in anything else besides sort of goofball, screwball
How
movies
many
and stuff.
ways can you spell the name Jamie? I've seen like 10 different versions of it.
I
It's
know
so
there's
crazy.
a you and I know a Jamie with an I after before the E, and this one is an I before the M.
I know
So I mean,
Jamie with a Y. I know like well, I guess actually there's only 4 ways of spelling it, but still, like choose a way.
she was in Pearl Harbor. I remember her in Pearl Harbor. She plays like a doomed nurse, and we're supposed to care for her, but she's like in the movie for 5 seconds. She was in Sin City. I don't remember who she. Oh, she was the girlfriend of Marv in Sin City. Okay,
She's the one that get
she was
the
Goldie.
twin sister. Yeah,
Yeah,
Goldie.
Goldie. She was in My Bloody Valentine 3D. I don't remember that. The only thing I remember about My Bloody Valentine 3D is it was in 3D, right? Obviously, and there's an
Yeah.
extended scene of a naked woman walking out in the middle of a truck stop, completely nude, just cursing at people. And I was like, this is the greatest 3D I've ever seen, even better than Avatar. It really was great. It was like I could almost
Cool.
grab somebody's ass. Anyway,
Right.
she's decent in the movie. She's not bad because she's a pretty girl, but they're not playing up her prettiness. But obviously, the film hired her because she's very pretty. But
Right.
also, she's a good actor, so that's good. But she's not like real
They're all
cops.
good
Have you ever
actors,
seen
pretty
hot
much.
cops in real life? There's always
Yeah.
good-looking men cops.
In Seattle, I
Oh, I'm
remember
sure
there were a
about
lot
that.
of female cops, and
But like in New York, when I'm walking around, I'll see like an attractive female. There's always attractive guy cops. Who gives a shit about that? But there's like attractive female cops, and you're like, hey.
it's
just
scary
like-
because it's like, are
it
they gonna
is.
beat me? Are they gonna hurt me?
I'm kind of into that, so I'm fine with that. But
Yeah?
anyway, so
you
she's
want that
playing.
nightstick?
Oh yeah, you got that right. I don't even need them for it. So she's the sheriff. Here's the thing. You know what's funny? I had such an obscure thought while watching this film. I thought about another even worse movie when I saw this.
Uh-huh.
I thought of Day of the Dead, the remake.
Oh come on, it's not that bad.
No. Here's why. She had some traumatic experience in this film, and they never say what it is other than her husband, I guess, died the previous Christmas. They don't
Right.
explain anything. To me, that's the equal amount of the Mina Suvari. Was it Mina Suvari in the original? No, it was whoever the hell it was, the cop in the original the Day of the Dead remake. That she didn't
Yeah.
carry bullets in her gun. I didn't say she was as stupid as that character from Day of the Dead, but for them not to explain why she has no gun, I mean, why no
Right.
bullets in her gun, to me was the same thing as why she was freaking out on Christmas. Like, there was no explanation. There was absolutely no explanation of what happened to her husband
In
and
any
why that
case,
would
this
even.
movie is way, way, way better than Day of the Dead.
Like even oh yeah, of
The
course
remake.
it is, of course,
not the
but,
original.
But even if they had put in a shitty sort of thing where her husband was killed by the crazy Santa Claus from this movie, that would make more sense. Like I would be like, okay, fine, that makes sense. If she saw something stupid that happened that
Right.
traumatized her, but this town is full of like scummy characters. There's a horny priest, and I got to tell you, it was refreshing to see a priest that wanted to have sex with women. I was
and not
I
children.
couldn't believe it. I was like, I had to like pause the screen and rewind. I was like, this guy's does he know she has a kid or something?
I
Like,
almost
what's
could have
going on?
looked the other way at his nasty behavior, just to know that he's not actively molesting children.
I was like, this man is a hero among this
This is the
problematic
best
man.
priest I've ever met.
It's funny because to this man is problematic for women everywhere, but he's a good guy for children because he leaves them alone.
Yeah, he leaves children alone. I would feel safe letting him babysit my child,
But not around your girlfriend. That's the only
not
thing.
around my girlfriend or my mom.
Yeah,
or any of my friends.
Any woman, no. So that guy is kind of dispatched off pretty quickly. He's playing it very over the top, dirty old man, which whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of silly.
This movie is not like
Subtle.
not subtle at all. So this whole town is dealing with Santa mania because it's going to be the 24th. Well, I don't know why this town is so insane about it. I guess there's a big Santa contest.
Well, look at
where
their
you pick-
priest. I mean, they're probably crazy. And oh, by the way, the girl Brenda, who was one of the cops,
Yep, just
you
what I
know,
was going to say, right.
she was in The Void.
I know. So she's been in 2 bad movies.
The Void wasn't that bad. It was okay.
All right, it was boring. Ellen Wong.
This was okay. And also, she's in Dark Matter, which is that show.
Oh,
that
is she?
Theo
Okay,
was
so
in.
she's actually in pretty. Oh, she's very attractive girl. I assume she's my 4 feet tall. She's actually in the show called Glow on Netflix, which is a very good show that I didn't think I was gonna like, but it's a very good show.
Okay.
And she was also obviously in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She had a lead role in that. I really wish she has more. She should get more work because first of all, there's not that many Asian American actors on film. The only one we see is really Rose Tico in the new Star Wars movie, and that's it. Her and
Right.
nobody else. That's like it's almost like people when they saw the Star Wars movie, they're like, "Oh, hey, there's Asian people. I can't believe it." You know what I mean?
Right. I
'Cause
can't
that lady's
believe
like
in a
Vietnamese.
universe with talking fish that command battleships that they have a black stormtrooper and an Asian.
Hey, but the purple,
Unbelievable. And there's a woman
with purple
who's
hair
doing good things instead of only men.
Wait, hold on. There's a woman with purple hair. You got to stop it there. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because that's shepherding in this SJW.
Yeah, he said. Alex told me that people said that was like a social justice warrior thing because she had pink hair. It's like you could believe that like you could fucking like travel through space at light
Green
speed.
aliens.
But you can't believe that someone has pink hair.
Okay, listen, Danny. We're gonna do that. We're gonna on the Adios 2017. We'll talk about Star Wars.
And no spoilers. No spoilers. Here.
And the thing
We're
is,
just talking about cast.
Danny and I are the farthest things from SJW or right wingers. But even that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard
hate all
about
of
a
them.
movie. Same here. Yeah, hate both sides. So this film also has a crazy grandfather character that I could have sworn was the Santa Claus killer, because he's catatonic and there's an asshole grandson that's stealing money from him. And
that's from the original movie. Actually,
was he? Okay.
Yeah, there's like a grandfather that like traumatizes the little kid in the.
Oh
original.
yeah.
So I guess that was like a throwback.
The only thing I recognized was when he put the girl on top of the antlers, when he shoved her through the antlers and killed her. That's the only thing I remember.
The second one was the one where the guy is like grown up and in the mental institution, right?
Yes,
terrible,
and it had
movie.
like 75% of the footage of the first film.
And it was horrible, like horrible.
Listen, the first movie's awful, but it's still 100 times better than this movie because at least it's not trying to be edgy. Like, this movie isn't a bad movie.
You really think so?
No, I don't think this movie's a bad movie. But I don't think it's as entertaining as the original one is. But the only reason why the original one is entertaining is because it's a bad movie. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They even...
this movie is like a mediocre writing.
Yes, right. It's sort of
That's
just like
problem.
a whatever
the
movie. This is a who gives a fuck movie. You know what I mean? With very good art direction and camera work. It's a very good looking movie. Yeah, it has everything that should work for a horror film, but it's just boring. And they even try to fit in Garbage Day, and they fuck it up by having the junior sheriff. He's like, he throws out a piece of trash, and he goes, "What is it, Garbage Day?" And I was like, "Oh no, what are you doing?" Like, there's only one guy can say that line. Is the guy from fucking Part 2 is like, "Garbage Day," you know that line? That's the greatest fucking. Yeah. The greatest worst acting next to the guy from Trolls saying, "Oh my god," you know that guy. Those are the two worst lines worst line performances I've ever seen. Yeah, deliveries I've ever seen. Well, the whole performances were terrible, but you're right. Those were the worst two lines I've ever heard in a movie, but they're great because they're so bad that you remember them. It's almost like when you heard what OJ got, released out of jail or some shit like that.
Right.
And
he was
or
innocent.
JFK or whatever. He was an innocent man, OJ, yes, and he's still looking for the killers inside jail.
Yeah.
But Ellen Wong is there. Obviously, she's playing Brenda, and I always mix Ellen Wong up with this other hot Asian actress called. And she's not hot because she's Asian. She's just a hot woman that happens to be Asian.
Sure.
Brenda Song, who's another hot girl. She used to be on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and she, of course, also has disappeared because she's an Asian American actor that Hollywood, for some reason, forgets exists. But also in this film is Donald Logue. And you probably don't know Donald Logue, but he's been in a lot of things, and he's a very good actor. So it was interesting to see him in this movie.
Santa
I was like,
Jim. Which one was he? Was he he was the pissed off Santa.
Yeah, also there was weird inconsistencies in this film, like why was he running away from them in the Santa parade? Like, he hadn't done anything in the movie, so I don't know why he ran off.
No, that was the other guy that was running away from him.
No, it was Donald Logue, the guy who was given a shitty attitude inside when he was having the kids on his lap and he was cursing or whatever. He was running away from them at the parade. Why? Right. I don't know why. He had no reason to run away from them. And
maybe he was just going for a jog.
But they thought it was him because I guess he was in multiple areas while he was being the Santa Claus. And I think Donald Logue probably just did it because it was a nice check. And I think that he thought he was going to be doing some sort of profound Dennis Leary sort of, monologue, where, oh, fuck this, fuck that, that sort of bullshit that they pull from those English movies, like, you know, choose life, choose TV, choose all that kind of shit that they do.
Do you remember that terrible The Devil's Chair? That was
Oh
trying
yes,
to Guy Ritchie?
yes, I remember that movie.
Nick, don't go in there.
You just brought that up for no reason.
Suicide.
Why'd you bring that up?
Because of the whole like trying to be like a badass dialogue.
Oh right, I don't remember. Oh yeah, you're right. Because that guy.
It was terrible.
That was
terrible.
bad. Yeah.
It like made me cringe.
Donald Logue plays Harvey Bullock on Gotham, the new TV show. So he's not the original cartoon, but he's in a lot of stuff. He was in the show. Yeah, he's just in a lot of shit. Oh, he was also in Shark Night 3D, so maybe he isn't too choosy about his pieces. But I think he thought that he's a good actor though. So it was sort of weird seeing him in this. He's usually a higher profile television actor. So to see him in this, I was like, what's going on? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, they must have gave him a good amount of cash for this movie. But obviously, because of the way the movie looks. There was also, you know what was weird? What? Okay, that little girl that gets killed at the beginning of a movie, right? That's in the morning. Why did it take so long for the mother to report her daughter was dead in the middle of the fucking movie?
Maybe the
night?
Mom went insane and was like having a conversation with her, even though she knew she was dead, like Psycho or something.
Like, I could have sworn that the mother was gonna like die because she didn't take her pills. Like, they made a big deal about her. She's like, if I don't take my pills, you know, it's bad, because the daughter slaps out of her hand with her bad acting. And I was like, okay, is this gonna lead to something? No, it doesn't. It doesn't lead to anything. It's just sort of like a plot point they left.
Do you think the mom was really happy that the daughter was dead and she didn't want to call? She
was telling him, "Oh, you know, don't go in there. You'll be traumatized." I was like, "What is this? Like, what's going on with this movie?" There was a little massacre in the softcore porn room. Remember, with that dirty director who shoots a hole through the wall. Okay, Santa Claus is walking up to him very slowly. And he decides not to shoot at him anymore? He decides to just, like, wait for the guy to fucking kill him with an axe? Like, what is that?
Right. Also, how did Santa get down 3 stories to chase her and throw her in a meat grinder?
A wood chipper?
A wood chipper or whatever.
I have no clue.
Like, she jumps out the window in this very dramatic fashion. Then, like, 2 seconds later, he's on the ground following her.
Why she jumps out of the window and doesn't scream until she's actually in the wood chipper? I don't know either. That
was a good death, though. I liked the wood chipper.
It was nice. But I'm saying why she wasn't screaming her head off while she was running out. Like, obviously the guy's going to chase her. I don't know if I guess she thought if she was quiet, she won't get caught. But didn't make any sense.
But how did she get caught? They're in broad daylight. This is a town where the Christmas fair has, like, hundreds of people. Certainly someone should have heard her.
You know how she got caught? She got caught because she heard the wood chipper turn on. Then she decided to look into the wood chipper. Makes sense, right? I mean, that's good writing. Yeah. Makes absolute sense that she would actually go back to
I mean, that's like every horror movie ever, in all fairness.
Yeah, but I mean, this is incredibly stupid. It's like I couldn't even find the right word for it. There's also a guy who's a snowman, who is a Santa Claus that lives at a motel, and I guess he was a coke dealer. And
I'm trying to see who that actor is. I, like, know him.
He's this bald guy, and he assaults the main character, and instead of, you know, getting out of town like anybody who would assault a fucking cop who's a drug dealer, he goes back to a hotel. He's just chilling. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, are you stupid?
And he knows that they know where he lives too, because she specifically asked him about the hotel.
And yes, you're right. And then he has a particularly graphic death, but it was sort of BS death because he gets shot in the head and he has time to, like, react and look at the lady and then fall. And I was like,
that might have been just a muscle reaction.
Okay. I think people get shot in the head, they fall down. They just, like, fucking fall on their ass. Oh, Stein Carson. That's played by Mike O'Brien. That's the actor. Because I remember them
Stein Carson.
I remember them making a big deal about Carson having 2 S's in the name. Mike O'Brien was born in 1964 in Nunavut, Northwest Territory. He was a Canadian actor. So maybe this movie, they shot this in Canada. He's a spooky-looking guy, but he was good. Everybody in this movie is a good actor. It's just that it's a fucking lame-brain movie. It's just very boring.
The script is, like, really dumb.
Yeah, one of the sheriffs gets an axe in the eye. Like, it's very up and down, the violence in the film. You don't really know anything. Like, the mayor gets killed by getting choked with fucking Christmas lights. And then the ending where the Santa Claus decides to... he gets burnt up, and then they just show him, like, leisurely in a truck driving off. Because I guess nobody knows that it's him that's doing it. But I'm like, it was such a lame.
But I mean, didn't he have to go to the hospital for the burns on his face?
I know, and then the ending of this, they're like making it look like it's so fucking profound that he saw his dad. Like the slow motion stuff looks great in this movie. Everything looks beautiful in this movie, but it's like, oh, it's so profound. He saw him as a kid. If they're making it tragic or something, I was like, no, your father was a fucking dick. He went insane because his dad
was a fucking dick.
Yeah, his father burnt his mother to death. Why he wouldn't be angry at his father and why he decides to choose his father's way instead? Does that make sense? Does that make any fucking sense at all?
It's like Malcolm McDowell said in the movie, murder doesn't always make sense.
I guess you're right. There you go. Malcolm McDowell took a paycheck.
Malcolm McDowell put that in there specifically to detract from people pulling this apart.
He's like, I won't do this movie unless you put that line in there. And they're like, Mr. McDowell, what are you talking about? I played Caligula.
At the interview, he comes in wearing his crotch protector that from Clockwork Orange.
He's been in a lot of good stuff. He's a good actor. He's in a lot of good stuff. He's been in a lot of bad stuff too. But either way, this movie is sort of middling. Like, I'll give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's like pretty boring.
Having your daughter murdered and you decide to wait a good 4 or 5 hours before you report it to the police.
Okay.
A shitty movie. and the killer just leaves and it says goodbye. You're like, that's it. I was like, okay, that makes sense. What a great movie. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give it like I agree with that. I have 5 out of 10. Setting a guy who has just killed like a bunch of people, including your father, on fire, and then not following through to collect the body or put him in jail and allowing him to escape, and somehow he is able to go to the hospital, I guess you would imagine, and get healed enough to be able to drive away, and no record of it exists.
And listen, Jamie King easily is about 115 pounds, right? This killer is like 6 foot something, looks like 200, 220 pounds, like a solid guy, not a fat guy. Donald Logue, the other Santa Claus that he fucks up, he knocks him with I guess they're trying to be funny by having ho 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 brass knuckles. That guy's another like 200 pound stocky guy. Jamie King fighting a 6.5 foot fucking guy. Okay.
Hey, she might be a ninja.
Okay, makes complete sense.
How dare you assume her strength?
Did you give yes, I'm a sexist shitlord, excuse me. What were you saying though? What did you give the rating? I was so enraged by that.
No, I said 5. I said 5.
5 out of 10 what?
5 out of 10. You're going to make me say the whole thing. 5 out of 10 setting a guy who killed your dad on
I did it. Okay, very good, very
following
good.
Through. Yeah.
With that, Danny, what's the final word?
Related viewing.
Also, everybody, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.